Saweetie appeared to be experiencing mental distress following Chris Brown's online revelation of her personal information. She had been softly flirting with him during their time together before this invasion of privacy. Saweetie appeared to be thrown into an awkward limelight as a result of the disclosure. For her followers, Saweetie's social media silence throughout Quo and Chris Brown's violent argument was strange. Hi there, and welcome back to Rumor Spill. Chris fueled the flames by accusing Quo of cheating with Stiss in a scathing diss rap. Saweetie responded by publicly questioning the dominant narrative and being visibly outraged online, garnering even more attention from her followers, as opposed to refuting these charges or stepping back from the spotlight. Given that Saweetie did not outright deny the claims and Chris Brown is not the only person involved in controversies of this nature, people were led to conclude that the rumors must be genuine as a result of this response. There were rumors about Saweetie's adultery, implying that she had cheated on Quo with another lady, among this mayhem. Even though Quo and SOI's romance ended more than 3 years ago, Saweetie appears to be dealing with the fallout as new problems keep coming up. Many people are unaware that Quavo and SOI were originally thought of as relationship objectives. Saweetie expressed her expectations that Quo was the one, implying that she had discovered her ideal spouse. But it seems that the relationship might have been poisonous, as Saweetie's startling admission on an episode of Young Miami's Carisha Please made more clear. The situation escalated when a video of Quo and Saweetie fighting broke out in an elevator. In the course of the conversation, Saweetie discussed the difficulties they had endured together and alluded to potential betrayals and mistreatment by Quo. She stressed their development as a pair, but she also said they should move on from the past. When she talked about their special times together, such as her charming birthday parties and their Valentine's Day together, the conversation became more intimate. She expressed her intense love and her conviction that their relationship was intended to last forever. Speaking about their split, Saweetie revealed that it was due to basic disagreements, but she was still in love with him and treasured their special bond. She thought Quo's amazing personality would have made her fall in love with him even if he hadn't been a well-known rapper. Saweetie defied the public narrative that trivialized her experiences and weakened her character by openly declaring her single status on social media and bemoaning the anguish and betrayal she faced behind the scenes. Despite these intimate disclosures, Saweetie's supporters remained steadfast in their support for her, understanding her pain at Quo's supposed mistreatment. It soon became apparent, though, that the story was not totally one-sided and that Saweetie may have added to the toxic atmosphere that surrounded their relationship. On the song Messy, which Quo released in 2022 and featured Takeoff, he accused Saweetie of cheating on Offset when they were dating. This claim alluded to a deeper schism among Migos, given that Quo and Offset found it difficult to reconcile even after Takeoff's untimely death. I didn't keep quiet in the face of the accusations. Instead, she confronted them on her own and refuted the claims. She addressed the allegations head-on, refuting stories that portrayed her negatively and highlighting her financial success and independence. It appeared that the drama had abated until it was rekindled by Quo and Chris Brown. Quo was specifically targeted by Chris Brown in the song Freak off his 1111 album, which made fun of him for his previous connection with Keech. It was disrespectful to him that Chris implied that Quo was unstable with his former partner, implying that there were unresolved feelings. In response to the jibe, Quo went into the studio and produced a counterpunch called Tender, in which he accused Chris Brown of mistreating women and called him a hypocrite. Quo implied that Chris's behavior was impacted by substance use by portraying him as unstable in his lyrics. This conversation represented a new development in the artist's protracted conflict, which had been characterized by a pattern of charges and counterattacks that seemed to go on forever. Chris Brown overcame severe obstacles in his career to produce an incredible return that astounded both fans and critics. His vehement and unrepentant reply marked a turning point in his ongoing conflict with Quo. Chris didn't hold back when criticizing Quo, jokingly referring to him as the Migos' weakest member before displaying a more somber undertone in his remarks. When Chris brought up Quo's prior relationship with Saweetie, referring to him as the weakest link at the time, the tension grew. With cryptic communications that hinted at Saweetie's secrets and suggested he knew more than he was ready to admit out loud, he teased Quo and only served to fan the flames. Chris expressed a deep-seated rivalry that went beyond words with a combination of overt threats and blatant call-outs. When he expressed his disappointment that Takeoff, another Migos member, died tragically instead of Quo, he made references to fighting with Quo physically. His statement that he wished it had been Quo instead gave the story a sinister turn, illuminating how intensely personal and acrimonious their disagreement had grown. Chris revealed his disgust for Quo's current music as the situation developed, saying it had ruined occasions like Fashion Week, where their paths happened to meet. He acknowledged that the only reason he restrained himself was to prevent financial consequences, but he had fantasies about hurting Quo physically. Chris's revelation exposed a combustible mixture of restraint and wrath, underscoring the strong feelings at play in their confrontation. In contrast, Quo's response lacked the clarity and force of Chris's remarks. In an attempt to exact revenge, he made accusations about Chris's personal problems, including drug usage, but these were untrue and did not change public perception or attract much notice. A fascinating turn of events was that Chris reportedly sold out of tickets for Quo's performance, which resulted in a very low attendance. This action ensured Quo performed in a mostly empty house and was a calculated humiliation, akin to strategies employed by other artists such as 50 Cent. Saweetie, meanwhile, was caught in the crosshairs of the growing dispute. Quo got into a furious argument with her after attempting to diminish her distinctiveness by saying he could easily replace her with any model. In response, Saweetie disclosed messages from Quo that alluded to their once significant relationship, throwing doubt on the veracity of Quo's contempt and adding more complexity to the story. Reactions from the public were divided. Some fans criticized Saweetie for talking to Quo instead of addressing the accusations that Chris had made public. She had to balance defending her integrity with negotiating the complex dynamics of her previous relationships, which put her in a difficult predicament. Amidst this, an additional artist embroiled in the drama chose to take advantage of the circumstances by hinting at a song lyrics revision that would take into account the unfolding narrative. This action implied that she might be using the rivalry for publicity purposes as well, which is a typical strategy in the intricate interaction of personal and professional conflicts in the music business. As the story progressed, both detractors and admirers discussed how ridiculous the argument was. The feud's public discourse, which was rife with allegations and details about intimate relationships, highlighted how erratic celebrity disputes can be and how the public absorbs and interprets them. Subscribe Rumor Spill for more videos.